I always think that Lent is an interesting time. There are those people who are very keen to adhere to it. They'll either give something up or they'll take something up and they will follow it meticulously. I remember a few years ago, everybody around me was giving stuff up for Lent, so I thought, oh, I need to do something. I need to not look really unspiritual around all of my friends. And so stupidly, I decided I was going to give meat up. Now, I'm a real meat eater. I don't eat fish, I don't eat salad, I don't eat much that's healthy. And so for me to give up meat was incredibly stupid. I didn't put anything else back into my diet that was healthy or sustained me. And by the end of Lent, I looked very grey. And what was getting me through was not this sense of growing closer to God. It wasn't this sense of, I am really excited for Easter Day because I want to celebrate Jesus' death and resurrection. What was getting me through was the thought that after the sunrise service at the farm on Easter Day, I was going to have a plate full of bacon. Now, for me, that isn't what Lent is all about. And some people find it a really, really encouraging and helpful time. What I want to say to us today is, if you've taken up something for Lent or given something up, fantastic. If you haven't, don't worry about it. I want to encourage us not to put extra things on our tick list, things to do. I need to do this because then I'll look good, I'll be a better Christian. What I want to encourage us to do in the run into Easter is to spend some time breathing God in. This past year has been incredibly difficult. It's taken its toll on many of us, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And rather than pushing ourselves and forcing ourselves to do something, I want to encourage us to take a step back and to learn what it is to be in God's presence and to just breathe Him in. Psalm 46 is a great psalm, and it starts off with the words of a very famous hymn. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. So God's with us, that whatever else is going on, God is always there with us. And then towards the end of the psalm, verse 10, it says these words that we'll be very, very familiar with. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. I want to encourage us in the run up to Easter to set some time aside every day if possible, not to pray more, not to read our Bibles more, although those are really, really good things for us to be doing. But alongside that, I want to encourage us to sit in God's presence, to be still, to breathe Him in, to know that He is God. Now, for some of us, that's quite a daunting thought. A few years ago, a friend of mine had a great idea. For Lent, she decided that she wanted to practice this be still and know that I am God, and just to sit and be with God. And so she thought, right, on day one, I'm going to start it simply. So on day one, she sat for a minute. She was just quiet and still and sat there. And that was very, very achievable. Day two, she said, right, I'm going to do 2 minutes. She did that, very achievable. Day three, she did 3 minutes, and so on and so on. And each day she upped it a little bit more. And it became more and more comfortable. It became more and more a rhythm, something that she learned to do. Just to be there. Not to pray, not to jabber on, not to say this is how I feel. You know, there's a time and a place for that. But just to sit there and just to breathe. And at the start of it to say, God, meet me. Help me to breathe you in. Help me not to feel the need to keep on praying and keep on speaking, but help me to learn just to sit and to know that you're there. And sometimes when we're still and we sit in God's presence, we feel a sense of peace, or we might feel Him there. Other times we may not do. Sometimes He might bring into our minds the word of a scripture or a song. The idea is not that we do more, but that we allow God to do more in us. That we breathe, that we're still, that we know that we're loved, and that we know God is with us. So I want to encourage you, start small. Start off with 1 minute. build your way up. But this Lent time, as we prepare for Easter, let's not take more stuff up, but actually let's let God breathe in and restore us and refresh us.